Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and welcome back to day 2 of my Halloween movie reviews for this year. Next up, it's gonna be Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. What the fuck? I almost said Mary Shelley's Dracula. I have the double pack where it has Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So that's why. Yesterday I reviewed Dracula, this one, which I didn't get. If you saw my review, go watch it here. It's probably the previous video. So yeah, now we have Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I've never seen the original Frankenstein, so yeah. Before I begin though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually watch this movie and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out, and come back and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up. So for those who have yet to actually watch this movie and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me that I'm going to be a fair warning because as usual I did. Before I begin though, I forgot to say the cast, and it stars Robert De Niro, Kenneth Branagh, Tom Hulce, Helena Bonham Carter, Aidan Quinn, Ian Holm, Richard Pryor, John Cleese, Robert Hardy, Cherry Lunke, and Celia Imrie. So yeah, I'm sorry you did the 10 seconds warning. So now onto the actual review. Quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate as usual. Okay, so Frankenstein, you have Victor Frankenstein, and he wants to figure out life and how life works, and he's trying to figure out the secret to immortality. So he goes to this class in I believe they say Cambridge, around the Cambridge area, but I could be wrong. And he meets this professor, and this professor was like, "Hey, your ideologies don't agree with me, so fuck you. I'm gonna teach you what I believe." And that was basically how it was back then. If you were against popular opinion, you were basically fuck you. I mean, it's not like now where you could say anything, and although you would still get shit for it, you will also be respected. It's not like that. So yeah. So basically, he's like, fuck you, whatever. He manages to create Frankenstein. He builds him. Uses a chemical formula to create him. Lightning strike, it's alive! So, Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster leaves Victor Frankenstein, and he basically lives out in the woods. Victor Frankenstein thinks that the creature died, so that the monster died. Turns out he's not dead, and he's seeking revenge. And at the end of the movie, he wants a bride, so a bride for Frankenstein. So it kind of sets up a sequel, or at least that's what I thought. I thought I was going to set up a sequel, so Mary Shelley's Bride for Frankenstein, I don't know. But at the end of the movie, Victor Frankenstein dies, and the creature, that's how he's credited. That's how Robert De Niro is credited in the movie, the creature. So then the creature, Frankenstein's monster, he kind of commits suicide. He doesn't really want to go back to the village where Victor Frankenstein comes from because he knows he's going to be discriminated against. So he's like, you know what, I'm done with people, so I'm just going to get the lighter that you guys are going to use to burn Victor Frankenstein's body with, and I'm just going to burn myself along with his dead body already, and that was kind of his funeral, so bam, dead. Yeah, pretty good movie in my opinion. This was actually a pretty good movie. Given the fact that this was a double pack with Bram Stoker's Dracula, I did not know what to expect because I saw Dracula first, and Dracula was kind of a drug trip in my opinion. More on that here, so yeah, watch that review. Now, Frankenstein was actually pretty good, in my opinion. Robert De Niro, really great actor, in my opinion. I mean, sure, he's done movies such as Bad Grandpa, and, who else? And Meet the Fockers, or Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, or whatever. But he's also done some great movies such as Casino, Goodfellas, and, The Godfather movies. And here, I do think this is another great movie by him, or with him. I do feel it is a bit underrated after watching this. I do feel it is a bit of an underrated performance, from Robert De Niro. Like, people just don't pay attention to this movie, but it really does have a really good performance. And my favorite scene of this movie, it's basically right after Frankenstein. It's right after Frankenstein leaves the family. Not Victor Frankenstein. So he finds this small family in this cottage, and he's learning to read and write and whatever. He's basically getting a basic education. He's kind of spying on them and also helping them at the same time while he's just living in their barn, but they don't know this. One day, the tax collector comes and basically tries to beat the shit out of the grandpa who's blind, and he's elderly. So what Frankenstein does, he basically, I assume he kills the tax collector because they don't really show what happened to him. He it just shows that he throws him across like the yard. So I'm assuming he died or he just ran away or whatever. And he's talking to the grandpa. And afterwards, the rest of the family comes and they kind of exile Frankenstein or the monster. And there's this scene where he's just crying, and I felt that was the best scene of the whole movie because that basically describes who Frankenstein is. He's this tortured soul who nobody really loves him, nobody really understands him, and he's just really lonely in this whole world. And the one connection, like the grandpa actually really liked him. Like for the 5 seconds they met, he like respected him, and he's like, no, I'm blind, but I understand what's your pain is. And I just kind of really like that. And right after he comes back to the farmhouse to see if he could be accepted again, they're not there. They kind of ran away. And yeah, it's just kind of sad. I felt like that was the best scene in the movie. And then they say, "Hey, revenge on Victor Frankenstein." I don't know if that was in the I don't know if that was in the original book and the original movie. But okay, sure, why not? It actually made for a pretty good scene as well. But in my opinion, that was the definitive scene of this whole movie. Overall, it's just a great movie in my opinion. Kenneth Branagh. I don't see him that much in movies. I mean, there's this Harry Potter. Hamlet, I think. So he's more of a Shakespearean theater actor, which I do respect him for that. And I know he did Valkyrie, but I never saw that movie. But yeah, I feel like he is a really good actor. I feel he's a bit underrated, and I think that's basically due to his like theater background. He really, and this probably come out wrong, but because of the fact that he has such a big theater background, I feel like many people undermine him. But when you really think about it, a lot of actors have a huge theater background. He just embraces that theater background a lot because he's also did Henry V. He just recently did the Kenneth Branagh Theater Company's The Winter Tale, which they televised it or whatever. He did a movie version of Macbeth. I mean, he's done a lot of Shakespearean things, so I feel like he's a bit undermined because of that. But I feel like he's actually a pretty underrated actor. So so yeah. I mean, overall, still a pretty good movie in my opinion. It's way better than this movie. Oh, he also did Othello. I didn't know that. He did Iago. Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna search up that because I did a monologue of Iago in my second channel called You Common Crackers. I'm gonna check that out now after I finish this video. So I mean, overall, pretty good in my opinion. Overall, really great movie in my opinion. I do think it's great. I do feel like it is an underrated performance by Robert De Niro. It's just an underrated horror movie in my opinion. Many people say that Dracula is many people tend to compare these two movies, rightfully so because they came out around the same time, and just the way they're kind of titled, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, like the way it is, they have the author's name on top. I feel like they could be compared in a sense. Many people, I've seen or heard many people prefer the Dracula over Frankenstein, but I prefer Frankenstein over Dracula in this case. Now, which one would I prefer, the original Frankenstein versus this Frankenstein? I mean, I haven't seen the original one, so I'd have to go with this one. But if I see the original one, who knows, maybe this time around, I don't know. I will review it and tell you. Overall, though, I really liked it. Great performances. Really heartfelt, in my opinion. The writing was actually pretty good. I expected it to be pretty good because Kenneth Branagh. But it was a little. I expected what I do want to say it's a bit better than I expected. It was still within the same range. It was a bit better than I expected. So, like, let's say writing wise was like. You expected this to be like, I don't know, a 7, but since, actually I didn't expect, I expected it to be an 8, but it's more of an 8.5. So yeah, and on that note, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, I expected the writing to be really good, and it's slightly better than I thought, so writing wise, and then just acting wise and everything else. Also the makeup and the makeup for him was also really cool in my opinion. He has this thing on his lips, where they kind of stitch it up, so it's kind of like this. So he's kind of talking like this, and I really think that was pretty cool. So yeah, overall pretty good, and yeah, again 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's basically it for this review. Subscribe, comment down below, like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.